Hey everyone. So, a lot of you reached out wanting us to take a closer look at what happened at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, definitely a tough one.
It's a
And
case that really raises some tough questions.
yeah,
I mean, we're talking about a 15-year-old girl, Natalie Rupnow, who tragically, took the lives of a teacher and another student,
right.
injured others, and then ultimately took her own life.
Yeah, it happened December 16th, just to give everyone a timeline here.
Yeah. So what makes this case particularly jarring, I guess, is that Natalie, she also went by Samantha,
Right.
is female.
And as you know, female school shooters, that's incredibly rare.
It is.
It
Yeah.
really kind of throws a wrench in the typical profile that we've sadly come to expect when we hear about these kinds of things.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the image that immediately comes to mind.
Right.
So let's dive into what we know about Natalie, or Samantha. She was described as kind of like reserved,
Hmm.
often seen wearing shirts and ties. And she was also a recent transfer to the school.
That's right.
But there are these kind of unsettling details that are coming out. Like
Yeah.
there's a possible manifesto that's circulating online. There's this photo of her at a shooting range wearing a Columbine-themed T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of all of that, you've got reports of a difficult home life.
Yeah.
Like multiple parental divorces, even before she turned 12.
Yeah, 3 to be exact.
Yeah.
3 divorces before the age of 12.
It paints a very complicated picture.
It does, and it's a lot to process.
Yeah.
And I think while we do have to be really careful about, unverified information that's going around,
Sure.
these details, if they're true, raise some really big questions.
Right.
Like, if this manifesto is real, what does it actually tell us? Is it filled with that typical, anger, the resentment that we tend to see?
Hmm.
Is there some kind of ideology we can point to like we see in other cases? Or is there something different here, something specific maybe to her experience as a young woman?
That's a really good point.
Something we really have to consider.
And this potential exposure to extremist ideology
Right.
through things like that Columbine T-shirt
Yeah.
it's disturbing. It also brings up the question of access to the tools of violence.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, authorities right now, they're trying to trace the origin of the 9mm pistol that Natalie used.
Uh-huh.
And of course, that shines a spotlight on Wisconsin's gun laws.
Yeah.
Specifically, how did a minor get access to a firearm in the first place?
Right. And that's where things get really interesting, legally speaking, because if we, take a look at Wisconsin's laws, they're a little different from other states in some really important ways. For example, Wisconsin doesn't have what's called a child access prevention law,
I see.
which basically means there's no state law requiring safe storage of firearms in homes where minors live.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of a gray area legally.
Yeah.
They also have fairly relaxed regulations on private gun sales, so person to person, which, obviously can make it harder to track how these guns are moving around and who's getting their hands on them.
So while, the whole gun control debate's happening at the national level,
Right.
this really emphasizes how specific laws, or a lack of laws, at the state level
Yeah, absolutely.
could play a role.
Yeah, I mean, it really begs the question, could any of these legal kind of, I guess you could call them loopholes, have been addressed, in a way that would have prevented this? It's tough. There are strong arguments on both sides, but this case definitely brings it to the forefront.
It does. And it's not just the legal side of things.
Right.
I mean, this event, it's reignited the conversation about mental health resources for young people,
Absolutely.
especially for those, maybe struggling in silence. I mean, is there enough support out there to even identify and help these individuals?
Yeah.
Especially, if they're exhibiting warning signs that don't fit that kind of stereotypical profile that we think of.
Right, right. And what I find so fascinating about this whole thing is how these individual psychological factors, like what's going on in someone's head, intersect with societal pressures, influences, and then, of course, access to, lethal means.
Yeah.
It's this complex interplay. It's a tragic reminder that we really need to understand the pressures that young women in particular are facing today,
Yeah.
and how that might, in very, very extreme cases, manifest in something like this.
So kind of taking a step back, where does this leave us? I mean, we have a case that's incredibly rare.
Yeah.
A young woman who deviates from the typical profile.
Mm,
We have these really unsettling details about potential motives and influences.
right.
And of course, this ongoing debate about gun control and mental health resources.
All these things kind of swirling around. It really brings up a big question, something for all of us to think about. Given how rare this is, a female school shooter, what kind of research or policy changes could actually be effective in preventing something like this from happening again? Do we need different intervention strategies? Do we need to rethink how we assess risk and offer support?
It's a lot to consider.
Yeah,
And there are definitely no easy answers.
there really aren't.
But hopefully, by diving into this a little bit,
Yeah.
we've given you some new insights, maybe spark some important questions of your own. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.